In case anyone is wondering, this is calming music that's playing.
It's my music.
All right, okay, so a quick recap of what we're recording. What year's your bike?
It's 2012 Victory Vegas. Is this a regular video or live?
Regular video.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. 2012 Victory Vegas Scorpion clutch kit. You do need a press to put it in. You have to press the hub out.
And what else you need to take the original on? So a quick recap. You got the Victory, the Scorpion clutch.
Yep, by Barnett.
By Barnett to put in. To remove the old, some of the little things that you don't really find or see, you need a special clutch pulling tool. It's here somewhere.
Something similar to this. It presses down. This is the main original OEM spring plate that you need to compress in order to get a snap ring out of here and actually remove your clutch plates.
So once that's removed, everything else came out. You follow your rings. The snap rings are a pain in the ass, as we discovered. We put everything together, everything lined up, went together nice. The adjustable springs, Devin can talk about those later. The problem that we're taking it apart the next day for is, it's hard to see right now, we'll have a picture, those 3 rows of teeth there, that very first row, closest to the basket, is spring loaded. Right now they are all lined up. When it was put together, it was slightly offset by about 1/16 of an inch, so it did not pull into the main gear.
Yep.
It sat right to it. Everything was snug, everything worked, shifted, did great. We fired it up, pulled the clutch, and it shook like crazy, hurried up and shut it down.
The clutch lever wasn't pulling all the way too. It was really tight and awkward.
So after further investigations and Googling and
help on the Victory Forum on Facebook.
Victory Forum on Facebook, I'm a Harley guy. It was discovered nowhere in any of the literature or anything that we could find mentioned that that is a spring-loaded gear that takes up the slack or something.
It might be in the service manual.
Yes.
I didn't see it though.
So that needed to be lined up however you can. We're not 100% sure, but line it up so the 3 sets of teeth are all straight and slide perfectly into the second gear, and then the whole basket and assembly will slide back whatever the width of that is, about another 1/4 inch. So now we're going to disassemble it. I'll turn it back on once he has it apart, show you we'll tighten it up and put it back together.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we're down to the last spring. Take off the plate, put 1 or 2 springs on it.
My helmet.
So that nut is what we were talking about. That's whatever your nut you wash it, just to pull and drag everything in. So there's going to be a decent amount of play in there now. We're expecting it's going to slide back, 1/4 of an inch or so, and pull that spring gear, the slop gear or whatever it is, and tighten that up.
Yeah. It's because this has pressure on it. I want to see if I can tap it in.
Looking at it, go ahead and wiggle it. After final adjustment, that nut
It was loose. It came free.
So once it's done, do you fold over the thread? How do you keep that nut from moving?
So once it's torqued down, when you open it, OEM, it kind of looks like this one. The corners are hid in almost like a lock nut, except you have to bend them. I just use like a screwdriver and a hammer and hit them in, but it came free.
All right, so we made sure the basket is tight all the way back. A little rubber mallet, very softly, not really hitting anything, just to make sure before we put it on. Reusing the original washer. Now that washer is beveled?
So yeah, it's this. There's 2 original ones. I'm only using one of them. I don't know where the other one went. But yeah, no, there's one of them that has a white dot on it when you take it off originally. So you want to make sure that white dot is out because it's a dishwasher, so it adds a little back pressure onto the nut too, additional to the torque.
So that'll keep it from loosening, maybe.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
And now put this guy.
You put Loctite on that?
Oh, Where did my Loctite go? It's gone.
So this is that's my Loctite. It's now reamed open like the Grand Canyon. Just a couple drops in the shaft. Oh Jesus! All right, so we're gonna have to clean some of that up.
Oh no!
But,
Don't go in there.
oh Jesus! Hurry up and get a rag in there.
I don't know where my rag. Well, off a couple plates in that shirt.
Okay, we're back. Do not try to over squeeze the Loctite. It has all been cleaned. Rings have been, plates have been cleaned. Everything else is cleaned. When you shove it all into it and it's got a little clog, it kind of goes a little crazy. So now we put a few drops. Exactly how much? It was that 0.2, 0.05 drops.
That was about 0.0125 ounces. I can get this back on now.
Alright, so everything is back in, back on. The center of the nut's got a little tap. Hopefully that keeps it from popping off. Line everything up, you know, teeth to teeth like you had braces, and perfect smile in there now.
Just about. Oh my.
Oh, sorry. Don't comment then on my my bad holding of the camera, because sometimes I look away from the camera because I want to see what's going on. And then I look and realize I'm recording a saddlebag or something. What are you looking for on that?
The Barnett clutch kit. Their steel plates have a rolled edge and a sharp edge. And they say you're supposed to put the sharp edge facing out. You can just barely feel it. It's more like you have to use the tip of your fingernail to do it.
Is that only for the spacers or for the friction plates too?
Only the steel sheets, from what I've seen. All the fiber plates or friction plates look the same, except for the one special one in the back that's smaller. But yeah.
All right, this is going to be a trivia question.
Make sure you put this thing back in. It's needed. Because I put it together and didn't put it back in.
See this stuff you learn? That's why this is here. We're not the professional guys who are going to say this is very simple, do this and this. On the third or fourth time doing this, it is very simple. It's much easier. Your first time doing it, you need to have a puller in the whole massive part. If you do not have a way to press in the bearing, don't take your bike apart. Do not start it.
Yes.
All right, what are you doing with the springs?
Screwing them in.
All right.
But yeah, just gonna screw them in. Then the instructions say once you get them in, you tighten them down until they stop, and then torque them to about 5 pounds, 5 foot-pounds.
And what are you using for springs?
It comes with 3 sets. I don't know where the other sets are. They're somewhere. Oh, it comes with 3 sets. It has these black ones. These ones come already loaded in here. These are the lightest weights. I think they're 48 pounds. Then you got another set. These are 58 pounds and 82 pound ones. These ones, you won't be able to pull your clutch.
Those are the ones they say are the racing spec or whatever.
Yeah. Basically, they say 150 or more horsepower, use these ones.
And you're pushing what, about 370 out of this, I think? 362.
Like 10.
All right.
They do say in the instructions, though, if you want. This is still going?
Yeah.
Oh. It does say in the instructions, if you read it, if you want to, that you can mix the lightweight springs and the medium weight springs. Just alternate every other one, so 3 lightweight and 3 midweight. Don't mix them with the heavy ones, though, because they say not to.
So the only thing the spring is going to do is adjust the weighty clutch.
Yeah, how heavy the clutch is.
So if you have little tiny, if this is your forearm, you want to go super light. This is your forearm, you want to go heavy. This is all unofficial. Like if you want perfect specking, you're gonna have to go back and look at. We did look. Devin did look.
Most of the specs. It's just if you want to torque everything the proper way, you need an engine or clutch lock tool too. So because you'll try to torque it and everything spins.
So there's another tool. You need a puller, a press, and a clutch.
And a clutch lock.
Clutch lock tool to torque it, and you need obviously torque wrenches.
Torque wrenches, you need 5mm Allen.
You need somebody's floor mat to catch the drippy oil.
That's my floor mat.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's my old one.
You sure? That looks like mine. It kind of looks like mine.
No, I tossed it behind the fence.
So while he tightens that, we'll give you a quick update also. I did mine on my Street Glide. It took me about 2 hours.
It's because he didn't do a whole kit and upgrade his parts. Like
I did plates. I did plates. That's it. When I was done, I washed it, and it is shiny now. That's all on my end.
I've been doing this like for 4 or 5 days now.
All right, we'll come back once these are all in. So that's it. Snug them. Get them set. Same as putting a tire on. Crisscross applesauce, whatever you want to say, until they're tight, until they're bottomed out, just hand tight, and then torque them to what? Barnett.
5 pounds, about one.
So if you don't have a torque wrench, it's 5 pounds. That is an unofficial measurement. All right, so the cover's on. It's properly torqued to 5 oomph. Now, my big question, and again, we'll go and let's just show the gear again, because that was one of the parts that we could never find. Your teeth there.
You'll pull it off, and it'll be offset about 4 or 5 degrees.
Correct. So all 3 of those do need to be 100% in and seated. Some people might be looking saying, yeah, no shit. But when you take it apart and that automatically springs and pops and moves, and then you can't move it very freely and you're not sure, you end up taking it all apart 300, 400, 500 times. So now you know.
I did it, so you did it.
And it is a beautiful looking clutch. I mean, it almost looks like bullet casing set in there. It's all nice and colorful. Yeah, and then you put a cover on it, and then you never see it again.
I recommend taking your shifter out of your primary cover and putting it on first, because you're not going to get it to line up by just putting it on.
Any safety concerns with the stator and the magnet?
Yeah, stator magnet, really strong. Don't put your fingers under it or let it go, or you'll crush your finger like that.
So as you're lining it up, be ready. It's going to suck that primary out of your hand and suck it up to the housing, and if your fingers are in between it, you're probably going to die. That's an unofficial specification also right there. You could die. There's always a possibility. You could die. It could be corona-related finger death.
If you die at all this year, it's corona-related.
Yeah, you fucker.
That's not our language in this video. We'll edit that out. That is, that's a shop mom swearing because a spider came near her.
Make sure you get a new gasket.
Yes.
Okay, that's all lined up.
How come the back isn't pulled in?
Because the shifter that you put in there pulled out of the case. So I use a rubber mallet and slowly tap it back on.
So now, because the magnet holds it in, you don't need to put any screws back in, right?
Not right away. It should be on there. It'll leak if there's oil in it because there's no screws in it.
That's an unofficial specification. For the record, yes, you do need to put your screws back into your primary cover.
If you're running it, enough for it to do that. I'm gonna do a test.
Let's just say you have to put your screws in when you're done.
I'm gonna put 2 of them in and test my clutch.
Okay, we'll be back in a minute. Okay. All right, so we got 2 screws in just to line some stuff up. We're gonna test the pole and stuff. What's a screwdriver in the center for?
You can that little pivot nut that I told you to reuse.
Yep.
Or pinion.
Yes.
You gotta turn it to line the teeth up so it slides on. Then you want, when you put it back in, you want your clutch arm to be about 15 degrees offset from your case line. So this is just a quick test to make sure.
I'm no geometrist, but that looks about 16 degrees.
Yeah. We're just testing to make sure the clutch works before I put everything back in. So there's only 2 screws in it.
All right. By works, you mean you're just gonna pull it and make sure everything moves
use
and
vice grips.
spin your wheel.
And use vice grips for it. I can't spin my wheel until everything's put back together. But you can use vice grips because it'll be like pulling the clutch. You should be able to turn that. And if it turns all the way, something went right.
You want a big pair of channel locks?
No.
Okay. This is an unspecification tool to use for this, so your comments of using a vice grip to turn it are duly noted, and you can save your...
And that is working now.
That's 1,000% better.
Before it went like this.
Yeah.
Now we got a full rotation of the clutch disengaging. That's what we want. So
all right, now we're
I'm
happy.
about 79% sure it's gonna work this time.
I'm gonna beef that up. I'm 83%.
Yesterday I was at 60.
I'm 83%. You still got to get bolts in
My
it.
40% came through.
As we said, we are very professional. We actually have a torque wrench. What's the spec for that, Devin? 115?
These, all the outside bolts get 115 inch pounds, not foot pounds, inch pounds.
So, as you'll probably see in a lot of videos, and kind of if you've worked on cars, everything, bikes for a while, you know, your first time, don't crank it in. Bring it 3/4 of the way, bring it 75, 80 inch pounds. Do it all the way around, and then go back and torque them. He's not torquing them down now. He will go crisscross. He's just seating them. And then same as a car tire, up, down, left, right, back, over. So that you don't kink anything or do anything stupid. And don't forget, we'll get to it in a little bit. Don't forget, all that grease and all those fingerprints, everything has to come off before you start your bike. Alright, so everything's torqued down and together. Some of the little pain in the butts off. Don't forget to put your gasket in there before you put the cover on. I guess is that still your derby cover, even though it's a hidden cover? It's a fake derby cover. It's something.
Yeah.
Another gasket. Of course, it soaks in oil and it becomes too big. It expands. And then it gets you really aggravated.
It's impressed that it falls.
And you want to call it names and stuff. So don't forget to put that in. That'll be section 3C in the unofficial. There's no section 3C. It's almost in there. This is why you need to have so many fingers. If you've lost multiple fingers, you need to find a friend with a few extra fingers to help you hold all these gaskets.
It's an O-ring.
Okay, we'll be back. Well, yeah, it's an O-ring. O-ring, yeah, I guess it is because it's shaped like an O and as a ring. The bottom looks like it's a little loose.
Yeah, no, this is how I did it last time, and then I took it off. It was all pressed back in. Once the pressure put on.
I think he told me to shut up. So it's on. Now is adjusting. I was told not to touch it, so I'm staying back. Special custom wraps.
Too tight.
That is to adjust your brake. I mean your clutch. Sorry, no clutch. About 1/8 of an inch of play.
Oh, real light.
Huh?
Real light.